Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining me for this yoga practice that honors the season of Leo, so the sun moving into that astrological sign right here in the northern hemisphere. It is summer and pretty warm. We're going to be tapping into that fire energy a little bit and working with it here on the mat. So join me here in a seated position. Get comfortable, cross the legs if that works for you. Prop yourself up against a wall or something else if you need a little support on the spine. And feel free to send the legs out long if that feels good. Sorry, my cat's knocking things over here on the other side of the room. All right, take a moment to just get comfy, and we're going to ground into our space here. If it feels good to you, go ahead and close the eyes. And then just relax here, relaxing the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, relax the thighs, and just allow the body to grow heavy. Good. Bring the awareness inward, focusing in on the self. And if you want to work with the heat today, leaning into that a little bit, you can seal the lips and cultivate your Wu Jia Yi breath, which is the victorious breath. It will help build warmth throughout the body and keep that heat inside as we're working. If not, that's certainly an option for you if you would like to or not. Good. Now, draw your awareness to the spine, the bottom of the spine, the tailbone. Concentrate a moment on this space and see if you can visualize your root growing from the tailbone down into the earth below you. Anchor the tailbone down, and you may feel a gentle tilting in your pelvis as we actively anchor that tailbone to the earth. Good. Then bring the awareness slowly up the spine, imagining each little vertebrae along the way and trying to visualize them stacking one atop the other. A little bit of space here as we lift the spine towards the heavens. Stacking the head, heart, and hips in one straight alignment here. And no rush as we lengthen out the spine here. I want you to kind of slow down at the beginning of our practice here. Thinking about each of the vertebrae, each of the links here in our spine, and what it does to support our entire system here. And then as you work your way up the spine, bring the shoulders down and back. Let them be heavy. And we're also lifting the navel. So we have a little bit of opposing action happening here. Lifting the navel, drawing the shoulder blades down. And then finally, we want to push the crown of the head high to the sky. Take a deep breath here at the top of the spine and feel an actual lifting sensation as you fill the lungs all the way down into the belly. And release. Good. Now bring your awareness to the crown of the head and imagine a ribbon or a rope or chain linking you to the heavens above. So here we have the tailbone rooting us to the earth and the crown connecting us to the heavens. Good. Take a deep breath. Reach those arms out and up overhead, creating big space between the arms. Keep the alignment of the spine here going nice and slow to really pay attention to that posture. You might be feeling a little tired now holding yourself up like this if you're not used to this kind of action. If you need to, again, rest against a wall or a piece of furniture nearby that can support your spine. Deep breath here at the top. And exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to heart center. And we're going to bring our awareness here to the heart space. Here rests our heart chakra. It is a green color light, if you want to bring that little visualization here. And just take a moment to really be aware of this space. How is your heart space feeling today? And whatever the answer be right there, know that that's okay. And from here, you might want to push those palms firmly together to tap into that heat. Getting the muscles activated with a little bit of power here. Pushing one hand against the other, feeling the muscles in the forearms and the upper arms and the shoulders even really turning on here. If you want to keep this a little more passive, by all means, please do. Otherwise, tap into a little bit of heat here. You might even be shaking if you're pushing against those hands. We're going to take a deep breath and lift the heart space up to meet the thumbs. Good. Now, I want you to tap into your willpower here. Leo season is about big, boisterous energy. It wants to be the center of attention. And its key word is, key phrase is, I will. So tap into that will of yours and maybe set an intention here of something that you would like to achieve. Something that you would will into fruition for yourself. Take a few deep breaths and seal your intention here. And then we're going to exhale to release the hands down onto the knees. And just take a moment to notice how you're feeling here. Maybe the palms are a little tingly. Maybe you just feel relief from letting go of that action. The palms open here to release your will, what you will into fruition, releasing this out into the ether. With palms open, take a big sweeping motion upwards with the hands. Palms to the sky here. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. We're going to get into a tabletop pose from here. So go ahead and transition to all fours. Stack the hands under the shoulders here, the knees under the hips, and be conscious of that alignment. The elbows point to the back here, and we draw the navel in and up to create a flat, table-like surface with the spine. Take a deep breath here and really feel the upper body lifting up away from the lower body, a lengthening of the spine, and a little bit of space between each vertebrae. Get those shoulders involved here, rolling them down and back. And we'll move into a little cat-cow here, tapping into the breath here to inhale, drop the belly, lift to the chin. Exhale, round the spine. Now really make this your own, as is true of all of our practices. Make this your own and find what works for you, for your body today. Be conscious of trying to get all of the vertebrae moving and active in this little flow. We're really trying to turn on our awareness of this spine that supports us through all of our activities. And then we'll come into neutral once we're done with that cat-cow motion. When that flow feels good for you, we're going to do a little side to side, looking left over one shoulder and then the other, kind of bumping the hips back to move the spine now laterally. Good. This might feel really good in the hips. Again, really make it your own. And then from here, we're going to move into a kind of, well, I call it the organ grinder here. I like to think of my navel drawing a hula hoop kind of motion up and around here. So it's dropping down to the earth, moving to the left, coming up, okay? From there, we're gonna do the neck in an opposing action. So when the belly draws up, the neck moves downward. So think about the head here being the crank and your torso being the instrument in motion. Okay, get your breath involved here, and again, make this your own. Feel this movement out under, just kind of like get in touch with the vertebrae. And if anything feels like crunchy or sticky, hang out there and work with it for a moment. And then at the top of your movement, I want you to slow it down to a stop and switch the directions that you're drawing your navel down. So we're getting the reverse action of what we just did. The neck is going to reverse as well. Through this whole movement, I do still want you to be conscious of those elbows, trying not to lock them out, making sure they are really supporting the shoulders and the lats here. Good. We're going to slow this down to a stop and come back to neutral. Good. Hands under shoulders. Again, check those elbows. We're going to curl the toes under here, and we're going to do just a little bit of lifting of the knees. So again, the navel draws in and up. The elbows point back. That's going to turn your lats on. Breathe here, okay? Hover, breathe. And we're going to release to the earth. Good. From here, curl those toes under. Keep them curled under as you already had them. And we're going to sit back and up into hero's pose. In this position, navel still is in and up, really supporting the trunk of the body and allowing that spine to stay nice, straight, and supported. So your two big toes should be together. Maybe you can also get your heels together, and then be conscious of getting all of the toes curled under. If you have to use your hands to help out here, please do. And just breathe here. This may feel a little uncomfortable. Try to just settle into the sensations. Using your spine to support you will really help protect those knees. Good. Big, wide arms reach up overhead and allow us to come down to all fours. Keep those toes curled under, and we're going right into a downward dog. In your down dog, posture is also important here. Firmly push through the entire surface of your hand, and again, turn those elbows to point behind you. You'll feel the lats really turn on when you do this. And then you can just minutely point your toes together. So just barely pointing the two big toes together. Bending the knees as much as you need to. Okay, send those hips high. Melt your heart to the earth and look behind you. Good, breathe here. From our down dog, I want you to lift that navel up like a big arcing rainbow and bring the body forward into a plank position. Good, those elbows are still working for us. And then we're gonna shift it up into a down dog. Take a few breaths. And again, arc the navel up, plank. Check that spine, go onto the knees if you need to here, and come back to down dog. And if this is too much for you, so we're gonna do another round like that, but if this is too much for you, you can certainly come into a child's pose, and you can come into a cobra. Okay, so that's sort of a more gentle version of what we're doing here. So try to complete a cycle of 3, however works for you. Good, and then we're going to return to our down dog. From here, lift that right leg high. Good, exhale, step forward, come into your low lunge or your kneeling warrior 1. Get this left thigh nice and long behind you. Pull the navel in and up, and then reach those arms high to the sky. Squeeze your thighs towards each other to turn them on. Big breath here, and then exhale to sweep the arms down. From here, we're shifting back into a little kneeling half split. So the toes point to the sky here. Straighten out that right leg. Deep breath and look forward. Up on the tips of your fingers if you need to be. Exhale, bow the head. Feel a good stretch in the hamstrings and the calf, maybe even in the glutes. Pull the right hip back into socket to accentuate. Good, and then roll that forward. Come out of this by lifting the rear toes and lifting that leg. Sorry, curling the toes under and lifting the leg so that we can come to plank. And then we'll shift back for the down dog. Good, come into your shape here. Set up your posture. Be aware. And then lift the left leg high. Exhale, step it forward to your low lunge or kneeling warrior 1. Turn those thighs on. Inhale, reach high. Check your posture on this side. Navel in and up. Excellent. Deep breath here. And we're going to exhale, sweep the arms down to the earth. Kneeling half splits on the other side. Deep breath and release to the earth, bowing down. Good, pull that left hip into socket, stretching the back of this left leg. Bow the head to the earth. Good. Plant those hands, roll forward, and step out of this by curling the toes, lifting the leg, stepping back to plank. Beautiful. Come into another down dog. Right leg comes high. From here, bring knee to chest, planking through the upper body. Good. Kick it high. Bring knee to touch opposite elbow if you can. Give it a try. Leg comes back, and then we sweep it open here for a little scorpion pose. Good. Sweep that knee up and over. Knee to same elbow here. Good. Step it back one more time. Kick it up. Good. Exhale. Step forward and bring that left knee down. We're going to set up here for a kneeling warrior 2. So pivot your left knee or your left leg to point out to the right side, and then line up this right heel with your knee. So we're creating a little box shape here, and you should feel this hip really opening out to the right. Now if your knee is kind of crashing in a little bit, pull it up and see if you can line it up with the hip. Do your best to get into that shape here. And again, really be conscious of your core. Sweep those arms out, and we're going to send the gaze forward. Deep breath here, nice hip opening action. And then keeping your core engaged. Well, we have 2 options to transition here. So one option for those of you who are really building heat and practicing really working with the core, we're going to just tip over to the side, and then we'll straighten out this leg to point those toes forward. Okay, if that seems like it's going to hurt your back or feel unstable for you, then just gently bring the right arm down, walk your hands around to come to the other side, and we'll come into this this shape, which is going to get us into gate pose by lifting the leg and reaching the right arm forward or over your head. Good. Use the core here, and see if you can keep your arm and your leg in one line with each other, right? So you might not be completely flat tabletop here, but do your best to form one line, straight line. Good. Exhale to release the leg, sweep the arm down, and you can either use that to walk you back around for a more gentle version, or if you are working on that core and you want to get a little more heat, then just engage the core to lift you straight up. Back to warrior 2 on the knees. And then from here, we're going to sweep those arms down, pivoting that leg back around, and we're going to step out of this, same as before, to plank. Good. Then to down dog. Take a moment, check your posture. Left leg comes high. Knee to chest, plank. Kick it back. Good. Knee to opposite elbow. See if they touch. Kick it back. Hips here are square to the earth. Check your posture. Scorpion pose. Bend the knee. Good. Straighten that leg. Square the hips to the earth. See if you can touch same elbow. Kick it up. Hips are square to the earth. Toes point down. Step it forward. But not so far forward. We're going to come into our kneeling warrior 2. So swing this right knee, pivot the knee, create a little box shape here with the legs so that your left heel is lined up with your right knee. Good. Reach those arms out, and once again, really focus on opening this left hip, okay? This is our starting hip opener. So really open that out to the side. Reach those arms out. And again, from here, you might just tip it down and come into your gate pose. Or you might want to walk it around to the side so you know what you need to do now. So try to get here or a shape similar. Breathe here, engage the core. Good, we're going to sweep that left arm down and we're going to walk it. Or, of course, you have the option again to use the core and lift back up, coming into your kneeling warrior 2. And then we're going to pivot those arms, or reach those arms over to pivot down, coming out of this again to a plank pose. Okay, good. From here, breathe. And then send it up to down dog. So if you want to continue building the heat here, tapping into some of this boisterous energy offered to us by Leo season, I invite you to bend the knees and hop your way to the top of the mat. Now, if that's not working for you, please just take some steps in whichever way you'd like. Otherwise, you can do one big hop, maybe a couple little hops. Find your way to the top. Halfway lift when you get here, so you can be here or you can be here. Just never place your hands directly on the knees. Good. Exhale to release and fold. Bend the knees and really let the spine fold now, releasing to the earth. Good. Release those elbows. Walk your feet into the together. So heel toe your feet together. And we're going to bend the knees, come down into a little crouch, right? And then I'm gonna move so you can see me. We're gonna open up the hips here. Now, you have a lot of options with this yogi squat. You could have the feet flat to the floor, like so, and be here. If that doesn't work for you, maybe you get up on the toes. Maybe you need a little extra support, and maybe those hands never leave the ground, okay? So you can decide if you want to work towards getting those feet flat to the earth, or have those toes up, or those heels up. Either way, we're really working on opening up these hips, okay? So try to use those arms if you can to even help open those knees a little wider. So get those elbows right up in there. Maybe you can bring those hands together at the heart space. Now, if this really isn't working for you for this squat position, then I invite you to just come into a kneeling hero's pose like we did before. So having be down on the knees. Or if that's really not working for you, come into an easy seated position. Just taking a moment here to tap into that heart center. So we have a lot of options on how to work from here. Take a moment, maybe reaffirm your intention to yourself here on the mat. Feel your tailbone anchoring you to the earth. And even though we're in this position, the spine is still reaching high to the sky. Good. From here, those legs might be really talking to you right now. We're going to either stay on the feet and come into a lion's pose like so, turning the palms to the earth and the fingers to point behind you. And if that's not working for you, again, you have the option to be here on the knees with the toes curled under, maybe coming into a variation of this lion's pose. So you decide what's working for you today, either knees on the earth or not. And we're going to take a few lion's breaths here. So this is one of my favorite moves, and this is really a lovely way to just reassert yourself, reassert your intention, your willpower, yourself here, and tapping into a little bit of that inner strength. So lion's breath here, we'll take a deep breath. If you're not familiar with this, I'll talk you through it, and then we'll do 3. So deep breath, and then when you exhale, you're going to stick out your tongue and give a really hard, heavy exhale here. So get yourself set up. Deep breath here. Two more just like it. Good. Okay, from here we're going to release those hands, and we're going to come up out of the squatting position. So take this really nice and easy. Use the core and really find lift from the torso to protect your knees here. We're going to lift the hips first, and then center those feet. Good. From here, bend the knees, and we're going to use the core, unfurl the spine, and rise up into a mountain pose. If you get a little dizzy, I tend to do this on the rising here. Just drop chin to chest and take a deep breath. Good. Open those palms out to space in front of you, into the ether before you. Releasing that intention, the power, and your will. Good. Draw the tailbone down to the earth and lift the crown. Good. Deep breath, bend the knees, root to rise. Reach the hands out. And here we're going to step to the side of our mat so we can have a little space to move here. If you want to, again, tap into some energy, some power, we're going to do some hopping. If you would like to skip the hopping for any reason at all, just do some big steps to get into position, okay? So we're starting here, and then we are coming out into a big star shape. Making ourselves large, asserting ourselves, and really coming into our power. Good. Now from here, we're going to go into a little squatting flow here. So exhale, bend into the knees, and draw the hands down. Now this is a goddess or horse pose here. Take this at your own pace, right? You might only come here, or you might be able to get those thighs a little lower towards the earth. Either way, be conscious of these knees. We don't want to be in a position where the knees are coming really far over the heels, okay? So kind of try to keep them stacked. And then think of the column as a plumb line. It is going straight down. It's not folding forward. It's just dropping down into space. So you might only get a little bit. Okay, find your goddess pose here, and then we're gonna inhale to release. And then hop or step back. We'll do 2 more here. Take a deep breath and open. Exhale to goddess. Inhale to rise. And exhale to hop. Good. 1 more deep breath here. Open. Exhale, goddess. Hold it here for a moment. Really feel these glutes supporting you. Really feel these hips opening, okay? That's our key power here from the legs, from the core. And release. Okay, good. From here, we're gonna step it back to the top of the mat. Feel free to also hop and then come up that way. And then we'll take a deep breath, reach high. Exhale to fold. We'll take a little flow here. If you're feeling like you don't want to build any more heat at the moment, skip the vinyasa. If you're into it, come on in. either cobra or up dog. Let's come into down dog from here. Good. Take a moment and just settle into your pose once again, releasing the spine, breathing here. And then you can hop, step, or find your own way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift here, and then release. Bend the knees, root to rise, reach high. Good, exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna step it wide on the mat once again, coming into our star pose. From here, we're going to repeat that little flow. Well, it's gonna be a little different this time. It's gonna be a star pose, right into goddess, and up and out. But this time, we're gonna add our lion's breath to the goddess squat, okay? So once again, reasserting the will, reasserting our intentions that we set here at the beginning of practice. And if that's not really what you're here for, then just go with the breath, right? So star pose, deep breath. Exhale, goddess pose. Good, again, you reach it out, star pose, deep breath. Exhale. Inhale, star pose. Good, inhale, reach it. Star pose. Bend the knees here if you want to. Do a hop back to center. Good, exhale, hands to heart center. Step it to the top and again flow, or feel free to skip it today. And any day that you don't feel like doing that, come into a down dog. Wherever you are, even if you're skipping the vinyasa flow, come into down dog and just breathe here for a few long, deep breaths, just decompressing the spine, cooling a little after some work that we've done. Good, we're gonna bend the knees and hop or find your own way to the top of the mat. Take a moment here to halfway lift and then release and fold. Good, root to rise, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, we're gonna move through a little flow here. We're gonna face the side of the mat so we have a little more space. And then we're going to reach the hands high, come into a chair pose here. Again, be conscious of your posture. I like to have my feet about hip width apart. You can have them together, but I like them hip width here. Reach those arms nice and high up overhead. Good, inhale, we're gonna come to standing. Take a deep breath, hop or step it out to a big star pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hop it back. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Reach those hands up and then fold it down. Halfway lift, release, root to rise, come all the way up. And then we're gonna repeat that a couple times. So we'll go through that 3 full times. That was kind of just our once over. Come into chair pose. Inhale, reach those hands out. Deep breath to hop it open. Exhale here, close it again. Reach those hands high. Exhale, fold it down. Halfway lift and release. Root to rise, come all the way up. Good, exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more times, inhale, reach. Exhale, chair pose, engage that core. Inhale, reach high. And take a breath, hop it out. Deep breath here and come on back. Reach those hands high to the sky. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift and release. Bend the knees, root to rise. One more time, folks. Good. Deep breath here. Let those arms down. And then bend the knees. Hop. Ooh, I forgot the chair pose, but go ahead and do it if you're already ahead of me. And then we'll hop it back together. Good. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bend the knees, root to rise, reach high. Good, and we're gonna seal the deal here by bending the knees or stepping it out to hop wide one more time. Now, be conscious of these feet pointing out into angles. They do not want to be pointing straight forward. They do want to be pointing out at angles here, and that is going to help to really support the hips and knee through this goddess pose. So we're going to bend the knees, and we're going to come into a sustained goddess pose. Now you might be here. You might have those arms up and out for a full goddess pose so that the lower body is mirroring the upper body. Find your pose, your variation, whatever works for you, and really breathe into this shape. You might be shaking already. You might be wanting to give up, but take a moment, reassert your will here, maintain. Woo. And if you start to lose balance like I do, really try to catch yourself and protect those knees. If you're not feeling stable, then bring it in a little bit, which I guess I should, huh? All right, folks, we're almost done here. You can either take a moment and step it out, or bend the knees and hop it back to center. Okay, good. Take a moment here, hands to heart center, and just notice how you feel. We're going to step it to the top of the mat, reach those arms high to the sky, and fold it down. Halfway lift, and release. Good. Step back for one final chance for vinyasa. And let's meet in a down dog. Good. From here, right leg comes high to the sky. Take a moment, square the hips to the earth, point the toes down, check your posture. Bend the knee, bring it all the way up. We're coming right into a half pigeon. So we're trying to get the right knee to right wrist and the left ankle towards the left wrist. However, if your shin is not parallel to the top of the mat, that is okay. Take a look behind you and see if you can line your leg up with your hip joints. Sometimes the leg splays out or in. Just dial it to alignment. And then you might stay here. If this feels good for you, then stay here, turn on the core, and really support this shape so we're not dumping the belly and compromising the low back. And then you have lots of options however you want to decompress. I love to bend the knee in this and come into a little mermaid posture. You might grab a strap or even use a piece of furniture if you would like some support in a shape like this. You also, of course, have the more traditional option to bring the elbows to the earth and forehead down as well. Or maybe you want some combination of all of these, bringing a strap in here and getting that involved. Either way, find a position that really feels good for you, that you can hang out in for a sustained amount of time. And if you're not able to breathe wherever you are fluidly and fully, then back out and find a variation that does work for you. If you have taken any variation of this pigeon, go ahead and release that variation, coming back into this more upright posture. We want to firmly press the hands down. We're going to curl the rear toe under, getting ourselves into a position where we can safely lift the leg and come back into a down dog. If that doesn't work for you, find another way of getting here. Take a few breaths once you've found your shape. Good, this time left leg comes high to the sky. We're going to take a moment here, assessing our posture, and then bring it on in. Left knee comes to the left wrist, and we try maybe some attempt to make this left leg parallel to the top. Good. Check that rear leg, maybe dial it in if you need to. And then once again, find your variation. So whatever is going to work for you in this shape. Get into that position. Check your breath here. Make sure whatever you have going on for you is sustainable. And remember, if you're in an upright position such as this, you do want to use your core. Good. We're going to release our variation, whatever kind of alternative movement you took here, and we're going to swing this leg around this time, coming into a seated posture. We're going to bring the hands back behind us, and if you're able to point the toes forward, the fingers forward, please do so. If you would like to bring them to point out to the sides, that is also an option. So find what works for you. We're going to bend the knees and bring our right ankle on top of that left thigh. So we have this little figure 4 shape. And then we're just going to drop both legs down to the earth. Now we still want the chest open to the sky, and just letting the legs come down to the side. Using the core a little bit to support here, and seeing if we can get this right foot down to the earth. If this isn't working for you, then go ahead and just take a more traditional kind of windshield wiper pose, like such as this. And then come up out of it. So you have your variation. If you need to revisit that a second, pause the video. And then we're going to take the other side. Again, heart opens up towards the sky, so we're feeling a little twist in the spine. You might feel a deep stretch in the IT band on the left leg, or just a nice compression of the glutes here. Maybe this is stretching out the pectoral muscles a little bit by the armpits. Good, and then we're going to release this figure 4. Send both legs out in front. And then bend the left knee to bring it on in, left foot to the right thigh. Reach those hands up and overhead, and then draw that navel up, 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 and over as we fold forward. From here, you might want to take this left arm and reach to the opposite side of your right foot to get a little bit of a deeper stretch here on the side body. If that doesn't work for you, skip it, or maybe grab onto the ankle or even the calf instead. Good. Use the core. Lift yourself up out of this fold. We're going to come up on this left knee, bringing the left hand down and lifting up into a shape very similar to what we did before, right? But now we're reaching the right arm up and behind us. So we're kind of dialing that heart to the sky. This is sort of like a miniature version of a wild thing, if you're familiar with that shape. And then we'll come back down, bringing this knee that was bent up and over, coming into a little twist. Send your gaze behind you, lengthen and straighten the spine once again. And make sure you're using your core to support you. The arm is supportive, but it should not be bearing all of the effort here. The core really should be engaged as well. And we're going to release, straighten out both legs, and then switch sides. The right knee bends to bring that leg in. Reach up and over, navel comes up and over, and fold it down. And I should mention in your fold, just be mindful of the back of the knee. If it is super intense, you might just be somewhere like so. Don't overdo the stretch and just kind of let your body tell you what's working. If you need to, or if you would like to, reach your right hand to the outer edge of this left foot. Good. We're going to use the core and the hands, walking up and out of this, coming into this wild thing shape, planting the right hand and the knee, and reaching up, dialing the heart to the sky. Make sure we're not locking the elbow in this posture. Breathe here. Good. Come all the way down. Bring this knee up. Cross that leg over and twist to the right this time. Use that core. Send the gaze all the way behind you. Release your twist, send both legs long, and we're going to come down nice and easy just to lay on our back. You also have the option, of course, you can come into a little ball shape, and then just kind of roll nice and easy back to recline. Good. Send both of those legs high to the sky. For a few breaths, we're going to just stay here in a waterfall posture. If you would like to, you can support your thighs here with the hands. If you're close to a wall, you could use that also to support you, or even a piece of furniture. You can kind of rest your legs like so, or keep them straight. This is a lovely opportunity to let the blood pooling in the bottom of the feet or in the legs to release and travel in a different direction. Good. Then take a second here, bring those hands to the earth, plant them down firmly for support. Okay, feel a gentle engagement here of the core, and then we're going to open those legs wide into a V shape. Good. Squeeze them together. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. Try to keep those feet flat to the sky. This is really going to change how that feels in the legs. Good. Keep going for a few more breaths. We're going to release the legs. I love to take a moment sometimes and just let the legs fall and kind of feel them slapping on the ground. I think that is really satisfying. However, if you have downstairs neighbors, maybe you are mindful of them when you're doing that, or not. But if that feels good for you, maybe give it a go at least once. And then we're going to come into a little butterfly or cobbler's reclined position here, bringing the feet together. The soles of the feet will come slowly together, and we're going to let the knees drop open here to either side. You have lots of variations that you can take in this posture. One is to simply slide the feet further away from the body. This will make it a less intense stretch for those hips. It's a different feeling. So experiment with where your feet go and what is feeling good for you. If the weight of the gravity, the legs being pulled down to the earth is too intense, then I do encourage you to stuff some pillows under your legs, or yoga blocks, or you can even use your fists here right under the glutes, so right where the glutes connects to the thighs. You can support your legs there, so your legs fall onto your fists. So depending on your anatomy, how your body's doing today, you might have any level of this cobbler's pose going on. Again, just listen to the physical self and let it guide you. Take a moment to relax the jaw and the face muscles. Try to relax your shoulders here. Relax the chest. The core is relaxed. The legs are heavy and relaxed here. The hips are open and resting. From here, we're going to use the hands and slowly bring those legs back together. And we're going to take a moment to just kind of windshield wiper those knees left to right, releasing any tension from the spine. Good. Then pull the knees here up into your chest, and we're going to come into a little ball shape, squeezing the knees to chest, squeezing the forehead to the knees.
feeling yourself balanced on your spine. And then take a deep breath here that fills your lungs down into your abdomen, and then feel that pressing into the legs. And then take a deep, deep, deep breath, hold it here. Feel the expansion. And then exhale, send it out long and straight. Relax the limbs. Take up some space here and maybe bring the legs off the mat. So kind of think like star shape, but you're laying down. This is a particularly nice shape to just take up some space. Sometimes we feel diminished in our spaces and in ourselves even. So take an opportunity and just expand. This is also great to enhance the surface area of the body, cooling it a little. Bring your chin gently to your chest here to release the back of the neck. Relax the shoulders and unclench the jaw. Relax the arms, the hands, and the fingers. Release your shoulders, your abs, your pectoral muscles. Bring your awareness to the tailbone area and just release anything that you're holding there. Relax the hips, the thighs, the calves. Relax the feet, the toes. And then finally try to relax the mind, letting go of thoughts that are coming up for you right now. Take a moment and just try to clear them away. Notice them, acknowledge them, and then set them aside. Good. So, of course, you feel free to pause the video, stay in Shavasana. Otherwise, I'm going to close practice here by bringing awareness back into the extremities, the fingers and the toes. Bring gentle movement to the hands and the feet. Maybe roll out the limbs a little bit here. I love to take a full body stretch, so maybe you reach up overhead and point the toes. Good. Come either into a ball shape, just like before, or roll over into a fetal position and you can come up from there. So from this ball shape, we are going to do a little rock and rolling, tapping into that joyful energy, taking up this space, and just playing around a little on the spine. And then eventually coming into an upright seated posture to close practice. Just like we began our practice here in an easy sitting position, bring the awareness to the spine and anchor yourself to place. Pull the spine all the way up to the sky and find lift. Good. Reach those arms up and out. Take a moment here, arms wide, and bring your awareness back to any intentions that you cultivated on the mat. And I invite you to pull that energy in and down to your heart space. We will close practice here with a chant of Om,
and Shanti 3 times. Om is the primordial sound of the universe and is the aligning tone for all of our chakras. Shanti is a Sanskrit for peace, and so we'll close our practice this way. Reach those arms up and over, down to heart center. Good, deep breath here. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you for joining me for this practice for Leo season. I hope that it helps and enhances your entire season while the sun is in Leo. So thanks again.